Good morning. Happy Monday. We had a little bit of rain over the weekend. There Friday night when we got rained out. We ended up with about 6/10. Got another 10th Saturday night, Sunday morning, something like that. Real tiny amount of drizzle last night. Didn't really add up to anything, but the ground was wet. I don't know if we're going to be able to combine today or not. I hope to this afternoon, but we will see. So taking care of some paperwork, paying some bills this morning. I got to run a couple of errands, then we're going to come back. Got a guy, I think, coming to pick up some of that wheat that we treated last week. So we'll get that done. If we can't combine today, we've got some mowing to do. We've got some other jobs that we can work on. If we can combine this afternoon, we are going to do that. It looks like we have today, tomorrow, and Wednesday before another rain chance comes in on Thursday. I need 3 good days to finish the beans. I don't know if we're going to have 3 good days because today is not a good day. But if we can do some, we need to do some and try and get as much done as possible before the next rain system comes in. And then we can focus on corn, start shelling corn. Driving past a couple of our cornfields here, some of the early corn in it. I did this a couple weeks ago where we stopped and grabbed some ears. I'm stopping at a different one right now. I got a variety out here that I had just a couple of bags that were carryover from last year that I planted out here, and it's a fun hybrid. And I'm gonna go look at it and pull a sample. So we're gonna find a good spot to walk out here and take a look. I'll show you. You'll remember. I'll show you. Well, this corn doesn't look great. We got some grass out here. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Beautiful dark orange corn on this. The grain quality on this hybrid is spectacular. I grabbed a few ears. We'll carry them out and take a look. But this is that 103 day. It's 03 B96 is the hybrid. And it has excellent grain quality. Now the stalks on it are questionable. It's still standing pretty well here, except for where the foxtails are really bad. But the grain quality, the test weight, and the color on this stuff, we always called it candy corn. This is our candy corn hybrid because of the kernels that it throws. You can see that color when I break it in half from the side of the kernels. Just a super dark orange. Super heavy grain test weight, good grain quality. Not the biggest ears. There's a reason that I only planted 4 or 5 bags of it that we carried over from the year before, but it is a fun one. We'll take those ears back and see what the moisture is. These fields are at the top of the list of where we're going to go shell corn as soon as we start. They may not be the first field, but they'll be some of the very first ones. So that corn's not going to stand there for too awful long. This feels pretty dry. We'll see when we get the rest of these ears shelled, but I think it's definitely under 20, maybe even under 18. This little doohickey's handy. Worst thing is the kernel's flying all over. A little mold starting on the end of this cob. Don't like that. One more. Ooh, this one feels different. There it goes. You can see that beautiful dark orange color. Well, they call this the candy corn hybrid. So it is dry-ish. I think it's under 20. When I did that first year, I thought, oh, this was under 18, but the other ones didn't seem quite as dry. ahead and pour it in here. Enough. Analyze. Corn. Come on. She's a little slow sometimes. Go. Empty the drawer. There it goes. Ooh, I was wrong. 21-1. All right. Well, that's fine. That's this is a different hybrid than the one we tested 2 weeks ago, but that's about the same as what it was 2 weeks ago. So now the thing about the weather in the corn right now is we're not accumulating heat units to dry stuff out. It's just kind of sitting there, not doing much. It's got to be drying some, but slowly. That's almost sunshine. It's not supposed to be sunny today, so every little bit helps. We'll see. All right, that guy's coming to pick up some wheat, so I'm going to head down to the seed warehouse and get that taken care of. And then maybe we'll go... it's too early to start combining beans. Maybe we'll do some mowing. Maybe we'll go check on the the field and see if the ground conditions are going to allow us to harvest. I think that we'll be okay and be able to, but no guarantees. Well, there goes 4 of the 6 boxes, so I don't know if they'll be able to plant today. Probably not. But the next couple of days look good, so he's got another wagon he's going to bring me at some point. We'll swap. That one's empty, and we'll just keep treating. All right, well, we got that taken care of. I've got a little bit of time before I'm ready to go check bean fields. We're going to get the 7520 in the mower and go do some mowing. Got a few these bean fields that we can go clean up around some edges and stuff. It's nice to do after we get the beans out. I put the bucket back on this tractor instead of the forks that we had on there. Really, it's nice to just not have a loader at all when we're mowing, but we don't have that much mowing to do, and the loader will come in handy since the backhoe is still at Berkey from our tile project down there. That they have wrapped that up, but we're not quite ready to bring the backhoe back. Dad wanted to trim some brush and do some more stuff with it down there. So we're going to start with the plot field and stuff around my house. I don't want to do this one because that is, we got wheat planted there, and while it's, I don't think terribly muddy and wet, it's wet enough I don't want to drive on the planted wheat. Yeah. We'll go to the other fields that we're not planting wheat, and we're going to do tillage work too. Stuff like this. Dad was cleaning up this building site a little bit last year, and we got a bunch of weeds in here, and we're just going to mow it down. Make it look nice before winter. Oh, I mowed around a couple of fields and stopped at my house, got some lunch. It is now 1:15. Still haven't gotten hardly any sunshine, but I'm gonna go up and look at a bean field. I don't think we're gonna go today, but I'm gonna go look anyway. Really, what I want to do is drive around until I see a neighbor combining, and then I can say, hey, they're going, I'm going too. But I can't be first, right? You don't want to be that guy. Be the first one. Whoa, look there. Dad made it back with the ripper. Good deal. We don't have anything ready to be ripped yet. We've got to get our chicken litter spread or fertilizer spread. But I lined that up this morning, so maybe tomorrow. Well, this is my next field. I don't know if we'll finish the one we're in that we got rained out in the other day, or come pull out of there and just come here when we can get going again. I don't know. They don't feel terrible just walking through them. Does the pods crack open? No, not hardly at all. No. It'll be a little wet today. Almost getting more sun though. Pretty chewy. I could see in a couple of hours checking them again. That one's somewhat cracked, but still not great. Could I get them out? Maybe. Is it a good idea? Probably not. One other thing while we're here, you can see we've got some more white mold in this field. It's patchy here. It's not as bad as the last field that we did, but it is here. The neighbor started combining his beans there the last day we were running. He's actually a seed customer of mine, has the exact same variety planted on that field that I do in this field. And he called me the next day and was pretty disappointed in the amount of white mold that was in the beans. Kind of caught him off guard, I think, a little bit. And well, I sympathize because I've had it as well. It's just not a whole lot we can do about it. But, you know, ours doesn't look as bad as his for whatever reason. Planting day, crop history, whatever reason it is, I don't know. But it is pretty widespread this year. I have gotten several comments from you guys about the potential correlation between the chicken litter that we're spreading and the white mold instances in these fields. And while I won't entirely rule out that correlation, I sort of strongly doubt that that is what is causing it. Number one, we're spreading chicken litter ahead of our corn crop. Never gets spread right in front of a bean crop, so it's at least a full year and a half buffer between when we spread and when we plant the soybeans. That doesn't mean that it can't cause it, but it's not like it's supplied right up front of the crop and there's still all that manure present. And number two, fields where we have spread chicken litter in the past don't have white mold. Fields where we have not spread chicken litter in the past do have white mold. It's not, again, not correlated. It's not everyone. We've got some of all of it, right? We've got fields that have had chicken litter that have white mold and don't. Fields that haven't had chicken litter that don't have white mold and that do. So, I struggle to make that connection. What seems to be more of a connection is whether or not they were beans 2 years ago, the last time we had severe white mold, or heavy white mold, we'll call it. Those fields are worse this year than they were 2 years ago. Fields that happen to have a wheat rotation in there in that last cycle that did not have soybeans 2 years ago and would have been a wheat crop, they don't seem to have as severe of white mold. So I don't know what the connection is entirely. I stopped at another cornfield because I wanted to get a sample here. This is 110-day corn that was planted in April. I just want to see. And I'm noticing a ton of ladybugs. Like there seems to be a lot of them. There's one there. There's one there. That one. That one. That one. Now I also notice a lot of tar spot on these leaves. It's much too late to matter. There's one. But I didn't think much of it other than, man, there's a lot of ladybugs up here. They're just everywhere. And then I pulled back some husks on an ear. And look what I found. You guys know what ladybugs eat? They eat aphids. Can you guys see those? We've got aphids. We've got really bad corn aphids inside the husks. I don't know if I've ever seen them inside the ears before. This is cause for major concern. We're going to take some pictures, send them to the agronomist. The good news is we got lots of natural predators. The ladybugs, that's what they're doing. They're eating those aphids, but they can't get to them in that husk there. So, that's concerning. Well, the worst one was the first one. There's a little bit in some of these, but not as bad. That's a heck of an ear of corn, though. This looks like pretty decent corn. We'll find out. These kernels are massive compared to the ones we did earlier today. That is where our yield is going to come from. You can see, doesn't have the grain quality, but dang. That looks really good. So, it's also very wet. I don't know how wet, but I'm not expecting this to be under 25. We'll find out. 27.8. Whew. Yeah, that's The full season corn is on the wet side. That's why I haven't been in a huge hurry to get going on doing a bunch of corn, because quite frankly, we don't have very much dry corn. We've got some, but not a lot. All right, well, it doesn't look good for us to go to the field, the combine today. I'm not ruling it out entirely yet, but it's 2:30 and we're not heading to the field yet. So maybe we'll go look again in a couple of hours. We're gonna work on cleaning this air seeder up. We're done planting wheat, so it needs to be cleaned up and put away for the year. First thing you have to do is get the last of the weed out. And Brock told me he planted that all out. He got real close, but there's still some wheat in the bottom, so we're gonna chop back that out. This is what the handy dandy little portable Milwaukee vacuum is really good for. Only problem is I have to climb inside there. It's rather noisy. There, turn the light on so you guys can see. Now if only you could hear. Got a vacuum load of wheat. There you go. All right. All right. Well, we've got the seed out of it. Do you think that means at this point that I have to, oh man, power wash? I have to wash it? I mean, we get to try out our new power washer. That'd be kind of fun. I don't really want to do that, but I don't know what else to do today, so I think we're going to back this thing outside, hook the power washer up, and try and clean it up relatively quickly. Okay, I think I'm ready to go here. We put some diesel fuel in the burner tank. Got our hose hooked up. I can't run with this float tank on here. It fills that, but I can't flush it through the pump without turning the pump on like we normally do. Usually I try and make sure that it's full so it doesn't run empty at all. I don't think I have a nozzle. Nope, we need a tip. Okay. So we'll get that. Let's see. We'll go with green today. Green is a 25-degree tip. Yeah, I was going to get my GoPro and set it up, but I don't know where either of my GoPros are at the moment. I think one of them might be in a grain cart tractor, and one of them might be in my Chevy pickup, which is in the barn in the back, and I could go look, but we're just going to do it with my phone. All right. Well, see what happens. Nice. I can already tell it's higher volume. And we're still on the low pressure. Cool. Cool, cool. Give me a minute and I'll show you. It moves some water. This thing's awesome. So the old power washer was rated for 3.2 gallons per minute. This one is, they call it 5, but I think it's technically 4.8. But it is a lot more. Like, I can feel how much more and see it here. It's a lot of water, which should move dirt off much faster. Obviously, I'm not very efficient with one hand here, but yeah, it's hard to hold on to. It does work. The burner seems to be working. I am not touching anything to feel how hot it is, but you can see flames. It's hot. All right, well, I'm gonna wash. Okay, well, it's clean-ish. I just folded it up to get the underside so we can get this kind of stuff here. The power washer is awesome. Moves a lot of volume of water, which keeps the dirt flushed off quicker and keeps things flowing and moving. I have spent the past hour doing a survey for the USDA because the guy stopped, and I had to go through that. It's not my favorite thing to do, but we did it. And he wanted to schedule a time to come back and do it when I had time. And I said, well, I'm not in the field. Today's as good a day as you're going to have for a while. So I decided just to go do it and get it over with. But anyway, now it's 5:30 and I want to get this done and cleaned up and put back in the barn so that I can be done. We did not get our sunshine today. We are not going to make it to the field to harvest, which is a bummer. Tomorrow is supposed to be a better day. Even if tomorrow is kind of like this, I think it's aired out enough we'll be able to do something. Got it wound up there, and I just turned it on to let it pump some cold water through, get the heat out of it a little bit here. Pretty impressive power washer. Moves a lot of water, plenty of pressure for what we're doing. I'm impressed with it. I think it's going to work really good for us. So, it's still warm, not hot anymore. It gets really hot. I burnt myself on the metal. Problem with these things is they get so hot when you touch any of the metal on here, or like this piece, it'll burn you. It gets too hot. All right, we are going to call that good. My intentions are to take this back to Berkey and store it in the barn down there for a couple of reasons. One, we have room. It's a good spot for it. We don't need it until next fall, really, for planting wheat anyway. And so it's out of the way for storage purposes. But also, we've got 280 acres of wheat down there that there's a pretty good chance we could plant some double crop beans down there next year. And if this is just there, then we don't have to take the big planter down. We can just use this to plant our double crops next summer. So that's assuming that we're going to actually plant double crops. We're going to have enough moisture. We're going to get the wheat out early enough, all that stuff. So we'll see, but at least it's a plan and it works in my head. All right, time for me to go home. So I did get a couple more software updates done on the combine the other day when we were combining. It popped up and said that it had a couple more available, or at least there was one. So did 2 more. We'll see if any more show up, but hopefully we don't have any more issues with that. I'm really bummed that we didn't get to combine anything today, because I need 3 days to finish the beans. And I had 3 days, including today, before the next rain comes. So maybe they'll push the rain off that's supposed to come on Thursday, at least until later in the evening, and we can get a bunch done. But 2 days should get me the next big group done, and then there's just 90 acres down that road a little farther that we'll have to do. So we'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching today. I know this one wasn't as exciting as I had hoped, but it is what it is. So Phil's changing oil in our generator, and we're just doing a little maintenance and odd jobs today to get stuff ready to go. So tomorrow, I'm pretty confident we'll be back in a combine. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.